I think I am live. Hey, folks, it's Lester here, and I'm coming to you from I'm a Survivor. I Here we go. So Jamie's sitting here beside me. She's working, and she goes, "Can I just stay here?" And I'm like, "Yeah, that's fine." And as soon as I get started, if her computer doesn't start chiming, and she's eating something in a ruffly bag that every time she puts her fingers in, I hear a ruffly noise and I'm already easily distracted as it is. But no, she can stay right there. She can stay right there. Just no, it's okay. If I keep looking over to my right, which might be your left, just know that Jamie's over there eating something, and I've had no lunch. You don't have to leave. I'm kidding.
I was eating a bag of Cheez-Its because I also had no lunch and I have calls. Bye.
She has calls. She does her Zoom. And I've already been over to Longhorn Lester's this morning and got a lot of stuff done over there. Brienne, my niece, came by and she wanted to do her goats' hooves, do some goat trimming, some hoof trimming. And so I helped her with that, and she made her a little video that she'll play in a couple of days for you all. It was really cute watching Elfie and Pickles get their hooves trimmed. And she also helped me trim Tilly. Tilly, is our newest rescue, our little goat. She's a kind of I guess, a porch goat, yet she lives in our shop, and it's cute. I love Tilly, but she does not want to be a goat for anything, and you can't make someone be who they're not. In saying so, that kind of actually is a pretty nice segue into me wanting to tell you thank you for the number of folks who came to my defense yesterday. Boy, did I get into some trouble when I made what I thought was a funny video, a reel, one of those little short videos that Facebook is asking us for. Anyway, it's crazy to me, and I will get to your comments. I promise I will. I will get to your comments. There it goes. I will get to your comments. I promise you I will. But I was telling Jamie it shocks me sometimes the way sometimes the general feel of the page makes you feel like you're losing everybody. You're losing them all. You're losing them all. Lester, you've done something, you're losing them all. Yet at the end of the week, when you get your analytics, yeah, you do see that you lose some people. You lose some people, and you hate to lose some people, but you've gained 10 times that number. And so we're so blessed, man. We are so blessed. I'm especially blessed because I do some things that can run some people off. And I hate that about myself, because it'd be nice if you could continue to hold on to everybody and, but I can run some people off, and I don't like that about myself, but I don't know what to do. I don't want to change who I am. I think there are some things about this page that keep people coming and keep people wanting to be a part of the page. And I'm going to talk about that for a couple of minutes. I'm trying so hard not to read all these comments because you can distract me as bad as Jamie can sitting over there. But I think that the number one thing that keeps the page growing is the fact that we are quite unpredictable. Seriously, I think that this page is very unpredictable. You never know from one day to the next what you're going to get. Am I right? Seriously, you never know from one day to the next what you're going to get out of a Lester video. I think that all of us come here for our love of the animals. We do. We all have come together ultimately for the love of the animals. But I think that you can break it down after you come for the love of the animals. Then you can break it down into all of these little subcategories and stuff like that. And I think that one of the most recent examples is like some of y'all come for the love story. Oh, you just love the love story. With Cornholio, for example, he's our most recent love story. And we have a lot of fun telling stories. And of course, if we could have a good mushy love story, then I'll certainly make it. Now, not everyone feels the same way I do about, I like to humanize the animals and make it to whereas cornholio might just be so simply just meeting two members of the opposite sex and just letting nature do what nature does. That's boring to me. That's boring to me. I like to make it a little bit more fun. So a lot of us have come here for the love stories, but I know that people also are fascinated, y'all. You're just fascinated with Carl. You love fascination with Carl, the ostriches, or Tex and the Longhorns. And so there's different things that keep people coming around. Yeah, it may be animals overall, but the unpredictability of what each video is going to be about, you never really know. Of course, we have our rescues and the animals that we're trying to rehab and offer a forever home. Those are always things that draw people in and keep people interested. And when they see that you have a sanctuary, they want to know more about, the animals that live there and all that. And so those are things that keep people coming back. Or it might make it to where you can kind of overlook Lester being a guy in this one carrot video, because you can't wait what tomorrow's going to be. It's going to change everything. He's going to give you a whole new side of Lester. It might be a rant. Yes, it might be a rant. Someone says it might be a rant, or sometimes I can ramble when I'm going off on some injustice or some peep hat. Yes, it could be a peep hat. And yes, there are times that I put my foot in my mouth. A lot of people love the fact that Lester can end up saying something he should not say. I break one of those taboos, talking about politics or religion or sex or money, some kind of social practice or social unrest. And Lester should just not talk about that stuff. Keep it focused on the animals, Lester. And I sometimes don't do that. And so there's but no, when I say it's unpredictable, I think that you would agree. And what I'm seeing over here in the comments, and I'm trying not to read the comments because you can distract me, is that I think that a lot of people, you never know what you're going to get from one day to the next. And you like your things to be spontaneous. And so you stick around and you tell your friends. And that is, I think, how the page continues to grow. And so we do lose some people. There are some folks that are not as understanding to differences and how we're all so different. But it's also great to see how much the page is growing. And Lester, your videos are the reason that I laugh every day. The only reason I laugh every day. Don't make me start blushing, because I'll turn red and then I'm going to have 1,000 people concerned about my skincare, which is awesome, which is great. And I love that. But I also think that a lot of people come to the page because we try to keep it real. You do. You try to keep your page real. We always say it's the good, the bad, and the ugly. And a lot of people, even though they say they want you to be real, just be real with me, man. I can handle it. Just be real. A lot of people can't handle the truth. They can't handle the truth. And so they like the good part of farming, but they don't like the bad and the ugly. You talk about trying to keep it real in the fact that you have what they call a vlog, a video log of your life. Sometimes it can be happy. Sometimes you can have happy moments you can share with somebody. But more times than not, you realize that farm life can also be quite brutal. I mean, as it can Mother Nature. You have an occasional death in the family. This summer, we've lost both Copper and Marcia. Marcia, as you guys know, was attacked and killed by Trixie out in one of the stalls. And then Copper had a heat stroke, which, I take blame for both of those. I don't think that Copper would have struggled as much in the heat if he'd not been so overweight. And so I had gone on a mission trying to help the pigs and the goats lose weight, knowing how they were struggling. But I tell you what, I never thought that copper would succumb to the heat, because he would not leave that pond for anything. Whereas the other pigs, I think, might have been a little bit smarter to get out of the sun. Copper laid there. And I'm sure that having so much weight did not help. I'm trying to read the comments. Guys are going way too fast. And I know that as I get to different talking points, a lot of folks want to jump in on that point and share. You want to share. And I can't always just catch them in time. So I look and I'm trying to follow along as fast as I can. But man, you guys can type fast. I know that a lot of folks can't sometimes, or you don't find interest in hearing about family relations, especially with the Morrows. You learn to love all of the different channels, all of the content creators for who we are. And you can't hardly stand to know that sometimes drama exists between us. And so all we can ask is that know that our family is no different than yours, and as perfect as you would like to think that we are, we're not. We have family drama, as every family does. And we work our way through it just like you all do. And but so, some we talk about things, and my mental health. God, thank you for mentioning that. Yes, Laura, my mental health. Let's talk about my mental health. That got a smile out of me. Yeah, I have bouts of depression and anxiety and depression that I've battled for a while, at least the last 5 years since I have started seeing somebody on occasion. I go through bouts of depression, and most of you guys can tell. You can tell when it's going to happen or when it's happening. And I appreciate you guys putting up with me while I'm not at my best. While I'm not at my best, you still put up with me through different videos that I make where maybe my depression is showing through. And it's funny seeing some of the comments like, Lester, are you taking your meds? Lester, are you out of your meds? And so I used to be offended by that, but now I've just come to say, you know what? We're all survivors of something. So you know what? Maybe mine might be depression. I know Jake suffers through depression. My mom has suffered through depression. So ours might be our mental health, but I know that every one of you have issues with something. And being a survivor, because we're all survivors of something, doesn't just have to be something, a physical ailment. You're sick. There's been survivors of relationship woes. Obviously, a lot of folks understand that in life we sometimes struggle with relationships, and that could be marital relationships or just you lose a partner. We just struggle, y'all. We struggle. But you've also been here to celebrate the successes. I mean, a lot of you guys were not sure about the whole purchase of Longhorn Lesters, but that was a success. That's been a success story for us. If we can go back and one day when you get old enough and you look back over your life and you start thinking about all the things that you did right and that you did wrong, Longhorn Lesters was something that we did right by investing in another piece of property and everything working out to where that ended up being the piece of property that was perfect for us in so many different ways. And so there were a lot of folks that thought that was foolish, and they hated seeing I'm a survivor and the animals kind of be broken in half. But the animals that are at Longhorn Lesters, they truly are living their best life. And I've joked about this with you all. I joke when I say don't be selfish. Let's think about the animals first, because I feel like if you really do think about the animals first, then you would see that the animals at Longhorn Lesters truly are living their best lives. And so, no, I know the good, the bad, and the ugly, especially the ugly when you lose somebody. Losing Petunia and Lola several months back, losing my Uncle Raleigh to his condition. And, you lose people, guys. And when you have so many pets, you lose a lot of them. And A lot of times it can boil down to sickness or disease or predators. Even if it's your pet dog, a lot of times it can boil down to carelessness, and but it hurts you to lose them. I also think that a lot of folks love the fact that you're consistent with your videos. I was talking to Jake and Brienne, excuse me, about the importance of getting on a consistent schedule. I said that I think that the people that come to your pages, they wake up in the morning, and if you have a routine in place, people need a routine. And I think that might come from me being a former school teacher, where I knew the classrooms that had a routine in place and had a consistent schedule and consistent discipline, and everything was consistent, always had more success. And so I think that you guys like to have a routine in your life, and you need to know that every morning at 5 a.m., I'm a Survivor is going to have a brand new video. And so that drives me to make sure I don't let you down. And then, you find your routine, and some of you guys start your routine off with my dad, and you go over to Jamie, and then you jump over to however you do. And so that's one thing that I've talked to Jake and Bree about, and just finding a routine and being consistent, because your people need that. People need to know that even if you don't post every day, and I know that not every creator has the time that I have, and I'm going to say the content that I have, because I am full of content. I could walk outside right now and make a video and upload it in an hour. And I'm blessed that I have the content and I have the creativity, but not everyone has the content, and they have to look for ideas. And so I told them, I said, if you go down to 3 days a week or twice a week or weekends only, that's okay. Your people will still be your people. They need to know, though, that every Saturday I can catch a Jake video, or every Sunday at noon, Brienne's going to do something, or whatever the schedule is. But we've been real big with consistency, and not everyone feels the same way. And it's not my job to manage the other video creators here at Morrow Hill. I feel like I told Brienne this morning, I said, all I can do is give you the window of opportunity that was gifted to me with the whole Hurricane Harvey mess. And at this point, you guys are on your own. But these are some helpful hints of some tips that I've learned along the way. Is be consistent. Same time, same day. No matter what day that is, you have to be consistent, because you guys expect that and you need that. And then I always try to scare them. I do. I try to scare them. I try to scare the kids. Jake and Bree and Ellie are still the kids. And I scare the kids by saying, listen to me. If you're not there to offer those folks a video, they're going to go find it somewhere else. They're going to go find it somewhere else. You're going to find a way to occupy your time. And so they better learn to be consistent, or you're going to find it somewhere else. And there's nothing wrong with that. You guys are, we're blessed to have you, but you're also free to go, find something to fill the void space in your life, the time that you need to feel voided. We love to have you, but the kids have to be consistent. And I love that you guys are agreeing with me on that one. I think that a lot of people like the fact that we are always open to discussion. We don't have to agree. As a matter of fact, my boss used to always say, we can agree to disagree. And that has to be the way it is, because you're never going to agree on everything. And so on the page, the folks that come to the page, most of you all know that we're going to disagree on some topics. You're going to disagree with me on things that I do as an executive decision maker around the farm and the farm animals. I'm always open to discussion. I will never, ever criticize you or bash you or call you a peep hat because you have a different opinion is what I got. I just ask that in those discussions, you try to find a tactful way to present your ideas. you know that Lester reads every comment. There's never been a comment that I haven't read, but I can't always reply. It would be impossible to reply. I was telling a lady recently so as much as you love seeing the page grow, you also miss the old days when you could actually reply to every single comment, because I know that you deserve to have your voices heard. And just by me reading your comment doesn't always, that's sometimes not enough. But when you see that you've actually replied to a comment, I know that does something special for you, because that does something special for me when I take the time to comment on a video. So we try to make it to where the videos are always engaging, and we want your feedback, and we want your opinions, and we want your ideas. We don't always do them. And some people have actually joked, and it says, it doesn't matter what you ask us to say, Lester, you're going to do whatever you want to do anyway. And that's that's sometimes true. But I promise you, I have learned so much from the folks who take the time to comment. And there are things that I have tried from folks that I've gotten from your comments or from links that you've shared. And so I really do appreciate that. And I guess that the last thing is that I'm certain about this one over here. I'm certain about the last thing I can think of that a lot of folks come to the page for is for the entertainment. And that is something that I think I learned while teaching school. I taught language arts for all of them years. And in language arts, you learn certain what they call story elements and how to make your story interesting. You have to have a setting, obviously, your setting. So in a video, I don't have to really tell you the setting. You can already see it in the video, but you might need to know some details of the setting. Is it hot outside? Is it dry? Is it raining? Has it been raining? And so you got to set the tone of your story. And then, of course, what we've done over here at I'm a Survivor and Longhorn Lester's is we give you characters. We all have character roles to play. And we found all of the animals have their own little personalities, their own little character traits. And we have no problems in letting you know who's who out there. And by now, most of you guys can follow the page like it's a novel or it's a Netflix series. You know the animals, you know what their character traits are, you know who's who. And I mean, let's go back to the Cornholio story. The most recent story that has been big around here is Cornholio and the grief he feels for being so unlucky in love. And now that he has a couple of new females, he's very unsure about getting back in the saddle, if you will. And getting back in the saddle. And so he's just been very reluctant to get in there, and which is fine. We're not going to rush him. We're just going to allow him his time. But we want you to feel what we feel. And if that be something we can laugh about together or feel good about, or there are times that we feel hurt and we want you to also feel what we feel. I don't want you all walking around crying, but I do want you to feel the hurt that we feel. And so a good video creator has to do that. And so even though everyone says a good cry is healthy every once in a while, I don't want you all leaving the page crying unless you need a good cry. And if you need a good cry, then by all means, go ahead. But those are some things that make the page successful and that I think keep the page growing. Even though with my carrot video, guys, I don't know if you even saw the video. But maybe it was my own fault for saying the word perverse. But what I saw when I pulled them carrots out of the ground were two carrots wrapped around each other. And it looked like two bodies were entangled. It looked like two bodies were entangled. And I would only say bodies because one carrot had a face. You could see the face on the carrot. And if you took the time to watch that little reel, and maybe if you even paused it, and if you zoomed in, you could see a little face. There was a little face on that carrot. Guys, it came right out of the ground like that. I didn't sit there and draw and design a little face. You didn't shape them carrots to be nasty. But I'm sitting there and I pulled them carrots out of the ground and I'm like, God, look at this. And these two little carrots were completely entwined around each other, connecting right around the middles, which was kind of funny. And that one little face was going, it's true. And then the other little face was looking away from you. So it was like turned around backwards. And I thought that was hilarious. I wasn't trying to be a weirdo, and I wasn't trying to freak you out. And I never said at all what I thought it was. I'm only telling y'all that now because we're talking about it. But I thought it was funny. And so maybe that was the man in me, but there's a lot of men in some of you too, ladies, because for as many people that thought it was distasteful and unbecoming and just an insult to have on the page, got a lot of people who thought that was hilarious. And there was others who had no idea. They did not see what I saw. They saw a heart, and they saw a rooster. I'm trying to remember all the things that you guys saw in those carrots, but I'm sorry. I saw two bodies completely entwined, and I thought it was lovely and beautiful and funny. So you ask about how's Cornholio, and I will say this. I put a thumbnail onto the live. Normally, the thumbnail on the live is just something that Facebook will snap or that will YouTube will snap. But on the YouTubes, because I'm able to put a thumbnail, and I put a thumbnail of Cornholio in action with the ladies. So yes, we did let Cornholio meet the ladies without having to see them through the wire of the kennel or the stall. And the ladies are out and about now with him. And so all is going well. So you'll have to watch the videos, but Cornholio he's being Cornholio. And so that's all I'll say about that. I also put on that same thumbnail something that was amazing that happened this week that I also put on a reel, and it got lots of reaction. So I know it was felt amongst you. We had the lights. We had a crew of electricians, the light company, come out to Longhorn Lester's to install some night lights, some nighttime lights for the pasture, so the animals have more lighting. And of course, while they were there working, none of those workers could keep their eyes off the ostriches. You know, there's just something, like I said earlier, there's something fascinating about the ostriches. They're fascinating, and watching them play and run and the things that they do. And even though you may have seen ostriches at the zoo or at the wildlife safari or on TV, not many people have had a chance to be right up close and personal. And so once the guys were finished working, I says, hey, keep your hard hats on. Keep your hard hats on and come over here. I want to show you something. And they were all very willing to stand there and face their fears as I let Carl and the babies out. Sure enough, it wasn't long before these 5 grown men, were surrounded by Carl, who stands at least 8 foot tall, along with all of the ladies who are as tall as he is and as heavy as he is, and the babies go around. Don't think that Tat wasn't right up in the mix. And they were able to feed the ostriches, and tried to put their hands on the ladies. The ladies didn't want to have their hands on them, but they sure wouldn't mind getting a couple of tomatoes from them. And then at some point, we also turned around and took a group picture with Carl right there in the midst with his wings up, which was a really neat moment for me. And so for a lot of people who didn't catch the beauty in that moment, it's probably because you were not here last year when me and Jake and Ellie took all of those beat downs from Carl. So I actually at one point had to create for myself a cardboard outfit that I could wear over my gut and my man parts, pretty much, to save me in case Carl came out to attack again. I know Carl can't kick as high as my face, so I think my face was fairly safe. But I did not want anything from my chest down to be ripped in half or ripped open. So no, I had to create myself an outfit that I could wear around Carl during the months that he was just so mean and so hateful and just could not find anything to be happy about. And so for a lot of you folks who'd been around that long and you've seen that transition from Carl then to the Carl now, and cardboard armor. Yeah, that's what guys, it was a joke. I know that cardboard would not last against Carl and his thing. I'm trying to find this here. Here we go. Anna Marie Contos. I like Anna. Lester, in my own humble opinion, I would keep all the goats at Longhorn Lester forever. They're so happy and healthy there. They would be sad if they went back to grass grazing, but you know best, with that little smiley face. Anna, that's a lovely profile picture. How can anyone say that they would be better off here than over at Longhorn Lester's? And so there's a couple of things that I think about when I read comments like this. Okay, so for their diet, nutritional health, for their diet and nutritional health, I do think that the goats are better off at Longhorn Lester's, because at Longhorn Lester's, they have the grass that they need, which is about 20% of their diet. It should be. They have the brush, the leaves, all of the foraging things they need, which should make up about 60% of their diet. And then, of course, you can fill the other 20% in with your different grains and little things here and there. But here at I'm a Survivor, they don't have access to the foraging unless I get off my lazy butt and let them out. And Anna, I could do that. I really could. When I bring the goats back, even though their daily schedule will mostly be they're in the grass areas and they'll get a little bit of grain, at some point, a little bit of grain, I'm going to have to make sure that every morning, I let them out and we go foraging. They're going to have to do that. Now, as far as which goats will I bring back, that's still up in the air. I'm not exactly sure about that, but I may not bring all of the goats back because our pastures have been pretty much worn out from having too many goats. Annie and Ernie are doing fine without the goats. Annie's not missing the goats, y'all. I know that a lot of folks were thinking that Annie's going to miss these babies. I think that Annie's completely content to take care of her own health. She has her pigs to look over, and she has Ernie, who she needs to keep an eye on. But I want to get Ringo back. I think that the heels are hard on his knees. And so I want to get Ringo back. And then when you bring Ringo back, you have to bring friends for Ringo. Ringo, goats are herd animals, and they have to be with a group. They need to be in a group. So I don't think that the heels are good for Ringo's knees. I see him struggling. So as soon as it cools off, I will get Ringo back over here. And I will talk with Jamie and L.E., and we will decide collectively which goats to bring back with Ringo. But he has to have some goats with him. I think I mentioned this in a video, but I will be bringing Lenny back. Lenny is offering too much resistance to Mr. Huck. Mr. Huck is our leader at Longhorn Lester's, and he's earned that spot. But Lenny, who is probably our strongest and our toughest goat, besides Ringo, Lenny needs to be put back over here where he's in check, where he can have Ringo continue to be the leader. And the day that we lose Ringo, we will promote Lenny to our new herd goat, our new leader here at I'm a Survivor. And I say the day that we lose Ringo, guys, Ringo's not going to last forever. Ringo is getting older, and his body is starting to show the wear and tear. And just like all of us, we have those days where we may feel like we're still 20 or 30 in our heads, yet our bodies are showing us how old we really are. And I think that Ringo is no different than we are. He's a guy who's getting older, and his mind wants to keep up, and he wants to be the same old Ringo of yesteryear. but he just can't quite keep up. He physically can't keep up. And so there are days that I go out for walks with the goats, which I do walks with the goats daily. And there are days that Ringo stays laid up inside the little Wacky Pack shelter over there. And that tells me that his body's not letting him get up and get going that day. And we try to keep him medicated with his painkillers for his arthritis, but some days he just can't get up and get going. And so I think the hills are hard on him. So we also have this amazing Little's barn, our goat the Haven, the Little's Haven out here that we got built last year, just in time for winter. And we made it to where we have doors that can come down to block that north wind. And so I think that little hay barn where the goats sleep will be a lot more comfy. It has a lot more space. It was built for the goats. So the goats need to spend their winter here, at least some of them. And we do have the loafing sheds over at Longhorn Lester's for a few of the goats who will stay. But we don't need lots of goats over there. I think that 6 or 7 or 8, 10 would be fine. Just split them in half and we'd be good. But that's still a work in progress, and we have at least another month or so to think about that. I'm not going to bring the goats back here until this drought and this heat wave has made its way, because it was just way too hard on those babies with no shade. But I will say this, Anna, that I believe that every summer I will load up those goats and take them back. They will spend their summers at Longhorn Lester's. They have the accommodations, they have the foraging, they have the shade, plenty of water, and they will spend their summers at Longhorn Lester's. So thank you for that comment and the suggestion. I really appreciate that. And so there'll be more to come on that. What's this over here say? It's very depressing for me since he is the reason I came to your site in the first place. So as far as what brought folks to our page, let me say this, and this is going to come out very wrong. How can someone be so unlucky and then have that turn around to become the best thing ever for them? Let me explain myself. That makes no sense to you, I know. But hold on a minute. There is one person who's being very disrespectful. Now, it's one thing to disagree with somebody. Neil Barnea. Guys, he will no longer be a part of this live. He's just been banned. I don't know what's going on in the comments because I have not been reading them. But no one needs to come on there saying curse words. We don't do that, y'all. We're a mature following. We have a mature following. All of us are different ages, but we're all mature enough to understand that we're not all going to agree, and so we don't have to. So. Jake was with Bree lobbing snacks to the bigs, and one struck Bucky's on the nose. I was just concerned due to him being blind. Guys, let's not forget that Jake and Bree are still kids. Now, they may be 28 and 24 years old or whatever their ages are, but they're still kids when it comes to working with animals. And a lot of things that make you enjoy Jake and Bree's page is a lot of the foolery. Did I say that right? Foolery. And don't think that we haven't all been there. We've learned a lot. And so I don't think that Jake or Bree was being mean to Bucky's, but tossing snacks over. I don't like to feed animals in the dirt. I don't like seeing animals fed in the dirt. I know that feeding an animal in the dirt can lead to asthma issues and lung issues. So I was told by Courtney. Now, I didn't know this until Courtney told me. So Courtney, who was our farrier, told me that you never feed an animal in the dirt. I'm trying to block this guy, and I don't know why. There we go. Now he's blocked. So I don't know about lobbing the snacks over to the bigs. I don't know, but what Jake and Bree do is, they're also video creators and they're looking for content. But what you could do is simply let Jake and Bree know in a nice way. Just let them know in a nice way, hey, don't feed those animals in the dirt because it can lead to asthma type issues. And number two, don't throw things over into their pasture because it could scare them by, you hit Bucky's in the nose and he's liable to kick somebody. So I don't think that they would have done that out of malice or malintent. I just think that they're new and they're still very, very young. Jake has worked here for less than a year. And so it's fun watching Jake and Bree interact with the animals, but they also do things that I wouldn't do or that you wouldn't do. So and sometimes you don't realize it until you've done it. So let me scroll down a little bit. I didn't know where I got off to reading comments. I wasn't going to read comments today. I wanted to show y'all some stuff. Let me take this over here away. Yeah, so Teresa says, Lester, it was an accident. Jake did not mean to do it. Now, Teresa, I know you're not a Jake peepat, but Jake can do no wrong, and we already know that. And I'm sure it was an accident. Like I said, Jake did not mean to do it. But the other lady was only concerned that it could lead to someone getting hurt, Teresa. And that's why she mentioned it. She's not trying to everyone to scold Jake. She doesn't want us all to go scold Jake. What she's saying is, Lester, Jake, and Bree's throwing snacks over the fence to the animals, and one hit Bucky's in the face. I didn't watch the video, so I don't know. But anyway, all right. So let me go to now. Here we go. Stop the criticism of how the animals are cared for. You are not the person caring for them. This is Lester's farm. If you don't like it, go away. So, Jody, thank you for that. But listen to this. I will say something. There's not a farm. There's not. You're not going to find a farm or a rescue or a sanctuary or that little fat pig in Canada. What's her name? The one who they all call the queen, Esther. Guys, there's not going to be a farm that treats their animals any better than what we do right here at Longhorn, at I'm a Survivor and Longhorn Lester's. You can look far and wide, and you're going to find a lot of really neat farms, and you're going to find a lot of amazing people who love animals. But sorry, you're wasting your time if you're criticizing me, because you're not going to find any farm. You're not going to find any farm that does more for their animals than what this farm here does. I like a lot of farm channels, and I like the creators of those farm channels, and I appreciate those guys putting out great content for you all. I've promoted their pages as they have promoted my page. We have a network of friends. But I'll also be the first to say that the way we treat our animals is very, very different. And so there's not an animal who has come to live here that's not living a better life now than what they ever lived before. And so if you do have someone who's criticizing how the animals are cared for, it's because A, they have fallen in love with another video creator. And now they have a weird obsession with that creator. And so that creator can do no wrong in their eyes. That happens, y'all. Listen, that happens. I'm not trying to be mean, but that does happen. People fall in love with creators and they begin to develop an obsession for that creator. And then anything that you might say negatively about that creator, it's like a personal insult to them. And so you can't, you're not going to ever stop the criticism. But I'll tell you what, whoever this person was, you can go to any farm. And if you were to take an animal poll of how you're treated, you would see all kinds of numbers come up. But there's not an animal here on this farm who's going to give low marks to the way Lester and Jamie and Ellie take care of our babies. You're not. We make mistakes, y'all. And I think that our biggest mistake may have been overfeeding. That was our most recent mistake and lack of judgment. But these animals are very well taken care of. And I would say the number one thing that you can use to determine how an animal is taken care of is look how much of the resources that a video creator or a farmer earns that's turned back into his farm and his animals. And because it would be very easy to take that check from Google or from Facebook. Google is YouTube, and Facebook, and go off and spend that on you and your wardrobe or your home or your cars or your shoes or whatever people spend their money on, and the animals not get much out of that. And that's what I see more than anything else, is a lot of people that spend their animal earned money, because those animals are what make them money. The love of animals is what take you to their page, and the love of animals is what keeps you watching their videos. And yet they don't spend their money, in my opinion, this is my opinion, they don't spend that money efficiently and effectively to give back to those animals. And so, unfortunately, if you think that you found a better farm, I would love to know the name of that farm, because I could certainly learn from some stuff from them. But we treat our animals like our children, and with the cleanest of waters, and I wouldn't say the healthiest of foods, because we have been known to offer our baby snacks on occasion. But what parent is not guilty of sometimes giving snacks, especially what male parent? A lot of you moms could be upset with your husbands because you have a different style of the way you manage and treat the kids. And sometimes men can spoil the kids more through their snacking. And so we've done that. I've done that. But I have learned So, oh my gosh, here we go. Nope, not that one. Where is it at? I lost it. Tara, you must not watch LE's videos. He does a lot with a lot of animals and is a very successful young man. So, Lindsay, thank you for that. Lindsay, LE has a following of very faithful supporters. I don't call them fans. I call them supporters or social media family who love him for just the way that he is. And I will say about LE, this is something that LE has done, so let's talk about the teenager for a minute, and how most of our teenagers at some point, they want to break relations with their parents. And especially every man that I know at some point has wanted to make his own way in life. It's important for a man, and maybe even a woman. I don't really know the mindset of a woman. But I know every man at some point, he wants to break free of those bonds that chain him, you might say, and make his own way in life. And so LE, even though he knows that the animals are his glue that holds us all together, he has taken his channel and gone off on his own way to bring you more of the LE story and the things that he enjoys. And right now, a lot is focused on his fiance and their blooming relationship and their love for each other. And he also, whereas I do mostly farm animals, LE has a thing for your domesticated cats and dogs. That's what he loves the most. He feels joy from loving on his cats and his dogs, any cats and dogs. He also has a thing for goats. LE is a very gentle soul. He's a very gentle soul, and he has a relationship with Jesus Christ that I don't have, that I wish I did. He doesn't mind. He's not embarrassed or ashamed to let you know where his faith stands. And I told him that LE, a lot of people don't want to talk about religion. They don't want to feel isolated from you because you have a different opinion than they have on certain things. So you might want to avoid certain topics. But if LE feels a calling in his heart to use his platform as a way to at least inform you of things you might not know about, then Ellie's going to do that. And that's the way he has tried to separate himself from I'm a Survivor. And so I'm very proud of Ellie. Ellie goes to school. Ellie participates in extracurricular sports. Ellie maintains an apartment, a car note, a relationship with Megan. Ellie has never, ever come home drunk or had been smoking. Never. Ellie has never disrespected his mom. And those are 5 things that, guys, you just can't say that every kid can do. So Ellie does. He works enough to pay his own bills, and he's blessed that the people who have chosen to stick with him are true, loyal members of his social media family. And so Ellie does very well for himself. He is a very successful young man. And so I'm not sure what prompted that conversation between you all, but I want to show you all some things. Let me take this off for a minute and show you some stuff that we got. That's really neat. I'm just going to take and pop this in here so we can kind of get everything else off for a minute. Where did it go? Y'all have already, I just typed it and it's already gone. There we go. Come on, mouse. Okay. So I want to show you all something. I have stopped doing the gifting goodies for now. I'm going to go ahead and, I sound like a broken record, but I have stopped doing the gifting goodies for now because I feel like the world that we live in, times are too hard. And if they're not hard yet, they're going to get a lot harder on you all. And so I know for a fact that the folks who I respect in the social media farm community, which would be the Arms family and Cog Hill, we're not asking you for anything right now because we want you to take care of yourself. We need you to take care of yourself because times are tough. And so we have always said that if you have the extra money and you want to do something kind, then just join the supporters group. It's a very minimal, I think a $2.50 US dollars. And so that's minor, and we can accumulate that to do something big for the animals. It all goes straight to the nonprofit, so it has to be watchdogged. And so we love that. We love that. So now everyone is saying to block someone else, and then I have to find this particular person. Okay, I found the person. All right, I don't know what she has done to make everyone want her off, but your Bobby Joe has now been blocked. But we do receive some really neat things. Now, this over here was a painting, a drawing. That light that you see is the light behind me. That's not a halo over the pig's head. But it says it has a lot of our animals on there, which I think is cute. And I'm a survivor. Someone took the time to draw a lot of our animals. I hope you can see that. And I thought that was cute. I wanted to share that with you. I'm not going to share any names because I think that when you share names, that encourages people to send stuff to hear their name. And so we're not going to share names. And we got this painting over here of Santoro. Isn't that handsome? Our little guy, Santoro. I love this. And someone sent even a larger one as he's getting a little bit older. Look here, you got a little bit larger drawing of him, of Santoro. Look at the handsome face. And if y'all have not seen him lately, he is really starting to beef out a little bit. Somebody took a screenshot and got it put into a frame. This was the fun day that we got to do the dress up as firemen, and we were loving on the babies. And at some point, I gave Dixie a big kiss, and someone snapped that screenshot of that and put that into a photograph and a portrait. And I love that. It's been framed, and this here, along with all of these others, I have a place for them in the barn dominium. Now, this one over here, Jamie says I've never shown it to you all, but I'm certain that I have. I'm certain that I showed you guys this in a gifting goodies a while back. But it shows Jamie, me, and Maggie and Trixie all sitting together on the porch, looking out over at what used to be the little wall. We've taken that wall down since then, but that goes towards the outside of our yard area. And those were just really neat paintings that I came across in our collection of paintings. I had gone to the barn dominium. Oh no. Someone goes, Lester, you just blocked the wrong person. I can't do this. I cannot keep doing this. I'm sorry. If I blocked the wrong person, that makes me feel like a total ass. I hate that. I want to also open a couple of things. Now, I'm not doing this as a gifting goodies necessarily, but things have to be opened. And I thought that I would do it towards the end of my video this morning. What is this? Anyone know what these are? They have sharp points on the end of them. Because we're all survivors of something. Lester, you have truly brought smiles to myself and so many others. Keep on being the special people that you are forever. Love forever, Deanne. So Diane actually writes a letter, and I probably can't read the entire letter here because a lot of folks don't like you to read and put their personal stuff out there. Hey, Lester, I wanted to send this baby to you to go to Longhorn Lester's. I've been watching you guys for a long time, and you have also helped me through some hard times as you have helped so many others. I'm not going to write a lot. I just want to thank you for all that you and Jamie and the others do. I laugh with you. I cry with you. And most recently, my cry was when I saw the loss of Beth. You know what? I completely forgot about Beth. That was Brienne's little goat. And it also succumbed to something it ate along with the heat. I'm sure about it. It was so heartbreaking to hear her cries. And I cried again with you and Jamie in the truck when you were telling us that she was gone. Oh, the tears were flowing. You said it's just a part of life and that life goes on and there will be happiness. I know. Anyway, this is a very sweet thing. So she wants me to add this little ostrich to our collection. And I can't say that I have a collection of these at Longhorn Lester's, but my collection of stuff like this is over along the window sill, and I put it there so whenever the kids come, the babies, especially Jake's little girl, Brienne's kids, and even Lex and Connor will sometimes pick up something and play with it. And so I've done that. I'm so sorry that you guys are having to battle somebody in the comments. You know that the internet is full of a lot more mean people than it is kind-hearted, loving people. So we got a flag from somewhere. Dear Lester, my sister and I live together, but our TV viewing likes have always been different until she told me about the ostriches having eggs. I started watching with her to see the babies. Since then, I've become addicted to your and Jamie's channels. But I have noticed that you don't have a West Virginia flag in the barn. So I'm sending you one from us Hoopies. Hoopies. I pray every night for rain for you guys. Much love from Penny and Janet. And so this is a flag from West Virginia. Now, I've actually stopped putting the flags up. I have them in a tote so as not to get them messed up. I want them to last forever. But I do fly our Canada flag on Canada Day. And then on July 4th, I fly our flag from the UK. I'm kidding. I'm joking. Look. State of West Virginia. Shows a couple of guys farming. A couple of muskets. Don't know what that says. Montani semper liberi. So always free. Always free. I believe that's what that translates to. So that's very kind of you. My friends, I believe that I have pretty much taken most of your hour. And someone over here says West Virginia is dealing with a lot of rain. And I did not know that. I haven't watched the world news or the local. I only watched the local news. I have not watched the national news in a while. And so I am sorry for that, West Virginia. I hope you guys fare with that rain. And then someone says January 26th is Australia Day. Okay, so I will fly my Australia Day flag on January 26th, but I need to be reminded. I'm probably going to forget that. So, but no, I have a whole collection of flags from all kinds of states. And those used to be a really neat thing in our old barn, but they begin to get wasps. We're beginning to collect behind them. And they say Kentucky's also struggling through lots of rain and flooding. Wow. So here we have just gotten our first few rains. So we're very blessed here. But I feel bad for all of y'all who've been inundated with so much rain, because I know what too much rain can do. I know firsthand what too much rain can do. Someone keeps saying that they want me to go back to what I was saying earlier when I stopped. I was going to tell you that it was a horrific storm in Hurricane Harvey that helped introduce this page to many of you. And when you saw that video of our homecoming, and then we had, I think, 12 videos that we were able to sell that became viral videos, and they helped reach a lot of people to help the page grow the way it did. Many of y'all can name those videos faster than I can. You know about the Run Maggie Run. Well, let me just say, first of all, the Hurricane Harvey video got 39 million views. And so when you have a video that reaches 39 million people, and the Dodo is the one that did that one, and so they always tag your name to it. And so they stuck our name on it, and that drew a lot of people to the Lester Morrow page, because at that point, it was a simple Lester Morrow video. And so that got the page of Lester Morrow just bombarded with friend requests, people wanting to know more about what's going to happen now. What's the next step? And how's this guy going to rebuild? What's he going to do? So Facebook reached out when they saw how fast that page was growing, and they offered the business page, which would allow me to monetize videos. And so I went ahead and took that, not knowing what I was doing, never in 100 years thinking that I'd be the kind of guy to make a video and people would watch it. And then through those videos, you were able to meet a lot of our rescues. Annie with her Run Maggie Run. You saw Tex when he popped his red ball and got all heartbroken, and he began to get emotional because he popped his red ball, his favorite toy. You saw Tiny Tim fall in love with Peggy Pig through the fence and made a fool of himself when he bumped into the fence. And you saw, man, there were so many. The goats on the Jeep was a big one. the giving the puppy CPR and getting Maggie's baby to regain, giving, breathing life back into that puppy was probably one that reached a lot of people. I still play that one on my I'm a Survivor YouTube because I think that when a new person runs across a page, you want to have a powerful and impactful first impression. And by a lot of people seeing a man taking a lifeless puppy and giving that puppy breath into, mouth to mouth, and trying to stimulate its little lungs to get it to breathe and take that air was powerful. And then seeing that puppy come back to life, and then at the end of that video back to suckling on mom, and then of course seeing Maggie and her emotions that she was going through, that does something to me even today. That was one of the scariest moments of my life. But no, we've been very blessed to have gained the number of followers and supporters and just the social media family through those other pages that buy our videos and then sell them to viral video companies. That's how that business works. And then of course they spread our name, and then the name grows. It becomes to be commonplace where you see certain videos. And then of course the Dodo did the Petunia story, and trying to get Tiny Tim to be her companion pig. And so there's so many that I can't name all the videos. Back It Up, Shirley with the two goats with their heads stuck in the fence. And there have been some really funny ones. Then, man, starting with Tex and all of the drama he got into with Billy. But we've been blessed. We didn't really have to work as hard as a lot of farmers and video creators have to work to build their pages, because to build a page as large as ours, it's 1.7 million on Facebook. And then, of course, you have 200,000 on Facebook, YouTube. And then even the Longhorn Lester page is growing faster than I've ever seen a page grow. It's only a couple of months old, and it's already at 65,000 subscribers who follow that channel. But I think that it takes a lot of work in knowing that when the people come to that page, they're going to be entertained. They're going to be clueless as of what he's going to do today. What will he do today? And sometimes you can't make everybody happy. Someone put a quote in the comment that said, you try to make this side happy, you're going to anger this side. You try to make this side happy, you're going to anger someone on this side. And so ultimately they said, just be yourself. And those that choose to stick around will stick around, and those that choose to leave will leave. And we have people leave every day, and yet we still find ways to attract even more. So the pages grow, and we're so very blessed for that. What that tells me is that most of you guys are very accepting of each other's flaws and our shortcomings. And I have a lot of them. Man, I have more flaws and shortcomings than probably most folks do. And you're still very accepting of me, and you build me up, and you continue to support me, even though I do sometimes put my foot in my mouth. You've chosen not to be a part of the cancel culture, and because I say something that offends you, you don't go on a tirade of trying to get everyone else to stop supporting and loving. And so I could not be more blessed as a video creator to have a group of very loyal and devout and loving and caring and compassionate people to be a part of my page. I hope that when all is said and done, and when at the end of the day, y'all, at the end of the day, as they say, we'll look back, and I hope that the pages that I've created, and the ones that Jamie runs, and Ellie, and all of us on Morrow Hill, I hope that we've done better. We've bettered your life in some way. We've given you something to smile about and something to laugh about, maybe. But we've made your day a little bit better than the way it was going before the video. I know it's been a way to connect you to animals that you might not have ever had a chance to connect with before. Being able to watch those ostrich babies grow from hatchlings to where they're at now and running around and dancing in the yard and loving their freedom, and just all of the different journeys from all of our babies. And for that, I smile because it makes me feel good to know that you get a kick and you get joy from these videos. I feel myself getting emotional, and I'm not wanting to be emotional today. So I'm going to end with this comment that I see right here from Karen, where she says, "Love you, Lester and Jamie. Peace out." Okay, Karen. Karen's going to peace out on us, y'all. Karen's going to peace out. I am curious about the first video. Can we do that before you all leave? I know I'm getting down to about half the audience we had a few minutes ago. So you guys drop out. You guys drop out fast. You guys can drop out faster than anybody. But I'm going to read a few last comments. I would like to know the first video that introduced you to I'm a Survivor or Longhorn Lester's or Jamie's, Papa, anybody. And yeah, what video was it that brought you? So this sweet lady, and I don't know how to pronounce the name, but that's a beautiful dog. Miss O'Connell says the first video was the Harvey video through the dodo, and I've watched every one since. I love all the Morrow pages. So thank you for that compliment and taking the time to comment. So yes, if you saw that video, then you've watched everyone since, then you have consumed yourself with a lot of time. So we are legit family now. And so we're blessed to have you. I'm going to go down to another comment. Oh, Run Maggie Run. Joanne says it was the Run Maggie Run. That was the one where Maggie had gotten out of the pasture. Not Maggie. Annie had gotten out of the pasture, and she chased Maggie. Poor Maggie. And got after her. And that was just a really, really, really scary moment for me. Oh boy, Sonia says it was the Pig Trudy videos. We went on about a 2-week stint of doing nothing but Pig Trudy. Y'all, I have never loved a pig more than I love that little girl. Oh, she's such a dirty, dirty little girl. In the true sense of the word dirty, she's filthy. She is filthy little animal. And yet I love her so much. She has the most amazing personality. And she's grown up so fast, though. She grew up way too fast. This is interesting. The aftermath of Harvey. So a lot of people know that we had the Harvey video, but you know that we made several videos that we put onto our YouTube channel of the cleanup of the barn dominium being built. And, I was telling Jamie, there's a lot of videos that people have never seen because you came along at different times. And I would like to do what a lot of those kids do, where they do like a throwback Thursday or a flashback Friday and replay. I've never replayed videos. I mean, okay, I have on very rare occasions. I have replayed some videos, but I don't do that on a regular basis. If you see a replay, it's because you're not using your feed right. You're letting Facebook choose videos for you. So you have to go to the page and look at the videos. You'll always find the most recent. But man, there are some good ones. The Carl Dance with Jake. So that was the Carl Dance with Jake was the first one that you watched. However, no matter how much you enjoyed Carl dancing with Jake, did you not see Carl dancing with Lester first? It was called Egyptian Lover. And Jamie recorded that from across the pasture. She'd come home one day, and I was out with Carl, and I was dancing Egyptian Lover with Carl. And man, he was having a good time. And talk about a crazy video. That thing went it went around the globe so fast. So a lot of folks are with the whole Hurricane Harvey. Hold on a minute. I have anxiety and you're not making it better. Is that the one that you're referring to? You yelling at Jake about something was the first video I watched. Linda, I hope that you're joking. But no, we've had some fun with that. And Jake has always been a good sport. And guys, don't ever for a minute think that Lester would ever hold my camera and legit scold somebody. If you ever see me making a video and I'm getting onto somebody or freaking out about the goats in my feed barn or why you little kid, you know, and me freaking out, guys, look, I'm recording this moment for a reason because I promise you something. If I was having a real breakdown, if I was having a real rant, if I was having a real issue or a personal matter with any family member, I wouldn't be doing this. I would put my phone down and call Jake inside the house, and we would have a real talk. And we've had those. Jake knows that. Jake knows we've had real talks, and they would be real talks. And so yelling at Jake, if you ever saw me yelling at Jake, it was something that Jake was completely okay with and that I was okay with, and that we did it to where on that particular day, guess what? I became the antagonist. Jake was the innocent victim who's trying his best, and I'm the what was the name of the show where you're fired? Donald Trump did that show, The Apprentice. I'm the apprentice, or I'm the boss, or I am the Hell's Kitchen guy screaming and hollering. Because guess what? That too is entertainment. Oh, you don't like it when someone gets on to one of your favorites, but that too is entertainment. And I have been the fall guy many times for being the antagonist by Jamie's garden episode, and by when I have to move some feathers or feed some chicken eggs to the duck to the pigs. I know how to play the antagonist. I can play a role. I want to see some more of these. There's something about Journey. I miss Journey the most. So Anne Margaret, I do too. Journey was probably, of all of our animals, the most amazing rescue that we ever took on. And I think that Jamie getting Elvira, that was a little white-tailed deer to live, was amazing. What Jamie did to get that little white-tailed deer to live was amazing. But the efforts that we had to do to get Journey to live first, and then adapt to her life with being so disfigured. That's not the right word. I don't want to use handicapped either. I don't know exactly the politically correct term to use, but all the work that it took to get Journey to be able to live a really good, short life, y'all, was something. A lot of folks are on Journey right now. What's this about YouTube? I'm so disappointed in YouTube. They have no ostrich emoji. No, I didn't know about that. I enjoy Tuesday nights with Jamie. You're a lucky man. Well, I will say this. If you do ever watch Tuesday nights with Jamie, her Timeout Tuesdays, you will know that Jamie has as demented a sense of humor as what I have. And so you can get on to me about, Lester, you're just a pig. Lester, you're just Jamie is as demented as I am with her sense of humor. And only certain people can handle that. Jamie has as many haters as I have. And but That's funny, but I'm so blessed that you found a night to hang out with Jamie. We're all trying to stay away from that. We used to join our efforts on our lives, but we've discovered that there's sometimes that people want to hang out with just Jamie, or sometimes folks want to hang out with just Lester or whatever. I really have to go. It's 1:24 and I have to get my son Lex back to his mom today. It is his last day. And I know Papa's video was off a day. Papa says Saturday, but no, it was actually Friday. So Lex goes back today, and his mom wants him there at a certain time because it's meet the teacher. So Lex is going to go meet the teacher. But guys, I want to say thank you again for sticking with us through the thick and the thin. And if I've angered you one day, I promise, give me a chance and I'll make it up to you the next or the next or the next. And if you ever catch me on in a low point where I may be struggling through a bout of depression, just know that I need you more than I need you when I'm not. And so thank you for being the kind of people to stick by somebody when they're not at their best. That is very admirable. That's very admirable. And thank you for helping police the people in the comments when they start getting out of line. A lot of folks like to be able to say things they probably don't mean. They're probably just having a bad day, and we've all done that. We've all lashed out at somebody. I remember that even I made that mistake one time long before I ever started making videos. I would watch videos, and I would watch a lot of Instagram videos, and there was this one fella who his whole video premise was him taking money he would find homeless people on the street, and he'd walk by and give them $200, $500. Yet he always had somebody who was videoing him doing it. And he'd always walk by and he'd stop and he'd look down, whip out his wallet, scroll through all of his money, and give the guy $100. And so you all can say, that was so kind to him. What a nice man. That was very sweet. What somebody said in the comments was that guy was feeding his ego more than he was feeding the homeless. And so I kind of think there's some truth to that. I think that video creators can sometimes feed their egos, and we never want to be guilty of that. You know, we like being true to who we are. And the last thing I'm going to say is probably the most important thing that I said the entire day. And now I've lost half of my audience, and I'm about to say the most important thing. Friends, listen to me very carefully. I know that you follow other channels. And if you follow a channel, especially a farm page, any channel, you should know that farm page makes money from you watching their videos. And they can sometimes make a lot of money from you watching their videos. And it has been very bothersome lately for me to see a farm page that I used to promote. I used to try to help them gain followers. I used to work and communicate with this fella to try to help his page grow. And I think maybe it's the age difference, but what his page has turned into is to him not pleading, but allowing and asking you all to send money so that they can better their lives. They're not trying to better the animals' lives. They're trying to better their life. And I would just ask you not to be scammed and to be suckered in by someone like that. Because I'm going to say it again, you have to go out and work for your money. We have to also work for our money. If any video creator comes at you asking you to donate or to give to help better their life. Now, he's not asking you to help better the animals' lives. He's not saying help us build a barn for our goats who are getting rained on in every storm. He's not saying help us build this so we can provide this for our animals' well-being. Instead, said creator is asking money for him and to better his life. And that's not your job. That is not your job. It is not your job. Your job is not to give your hard-earned money to a man who could go out and make more videos if he wants to make more money. If you want to make more money and you're a video creator, then you make more videos, you make more content, you go out and you create, you work for your money. You do not ask good people to support you in trying to better your life. And the whole time knowing that there's good people that are struggling, that are on fixed incomes, and they don't realize how much money you make because you make a lot of money. And so it's one thing to ask to better an animal's life because we are all here for animals. But please don't be suckered into people like that. And if you know a page, if you know people who are giving because they're being suckered in, or they feel like they're getting some kind of favoritism with this particular creator, guys, call them out on that. I mean, this is none of, I know, I've already created so much drama in the social media world. I have created so much drama in the world of social media with other creators, with that whole water thing. And then when I begin to proclaim our farm as the most well-kept farm of all, and all, I've created so much drama with video creators, but things break my heart for you. And especially I take it personal because there was a time when I promoted this individual. I tried to help their page grow. And I feel like those are my people who have found another page to watch because Lester said it was fun and good quality entertainment. And now you're watching that same person ask you for your money, asking you for your blessing to better their life. So I didn't say any names. And so you all can use your imaginations, or maybe you know exactly who I'm talking about. I don't know. But it may be more than one. You may run across creators all the time who do that kind of stuff. And so just, I don't know. I didn't mean to get off on my, here I go rambling. Here I go putting my foot in my mouth again. How better to end a video than by putting my foot in my mouth and making someone else mad at me? Yeah. Guys, I love you so much, and I'm so blessed to have you. And you guys go have a wonderful weekend. And you say your prayers for me because I have to go drop off Lex. And that's always hard. He's been here with me for 45 days, then went back to his mom's for a couple of weeks for their vacation. Then he came back for a week. And now this is it. School starts for him next week. And then that means time gets real busy. Schedules get real busy. And you say your prayers will have a great school year. He's starting middle school. Oh, my God, my boy's in middle school. And that's going to be scary in itself because you know how those middle school girls are. You know how middle school girls are. So I'm going to leave you right there, guys. Thank you so much. And we love you. And we're blessed. We're so very blessed to have you.